operating system, data structure, C++, and HTML. Okay, and the hardware part, I think it's a microcontroller, networking, and you have to clear the background of the only the hardware part. And the CS2 also is a 200 marks or two. Basically, it's a 200 marks. 100 marks is a written paper. Against CS1 will carry 50 marks, and CS2 also carries 50 marks. And remaining 100 marks will be the practical. The same as CS1 will be CS2. Okay, and that will be conducted in your college during your practical examination of the management board. And the 50 marks, 100 marks written exam will be conducted at the time of your examination. Okay. So right now I'm just telling you about the kind of the weightage of adversity. See, more weightage of course needs one it has C plus plus. Okay. The C plus plus is having the from the basics. Kind of if you're having the knowledge of the data types, then operators, right? And the basic kind of what the flow chart, what is the flow chart? If you start from that, and again the basic syntax of the program, addition of numbers. I'm just telling you, the main the programming language start the what work first of all keywords, data types, right, and the operators. This is what the beginning of your programming language. And in the first chapter of operating system is a completely theoretical based chapter, and it's a kind of what again having the more weightage, right? Operating system is kind of what everyone knows, so which operating system we are using nowadays. It will start from the Windows 90 in 2000. I know that this, have you just check your textbook at least? Yes, for textbook to check your object. Oh, sorry, this textbook at least check your work. Okay, so at least start checking the previous year papers. So this थोड़ा idea मिल जाएगा कि क्या programming practice कैसे करना. We are giving you just kind of introductory part right now. Okay. So operating system, it is a complete theoretical chapter. It's having the in start right from the kind of what you are the multitasking system, trading system. So inside part of the software, it's that very only works. It's not only plus it's a kind of a more better chapter because the programs will come in a definitely related to your kind of for loop, while loop, do while loop, and if else condition. These are what the basic parts of the C plus plus. The C plus is the arbitrary decision making segments. It is kind of a three-phase. Depending on the looping structure, here we are checking the conditions, right? And the for loop is again the kind of what the still the conditions that satisfy me for that particular right? And the it will continue with the what your pointers. Pointers is the last part of the C plus plus in your blocks. And the data structure is having a program, not on the machine, but in the event part. Okay. And the last part is for your HTML. The HTML is what hypertext markup language. HTML is also having the programs. And saying at least more than HTML का objectives at least 3 to 4 marks के objectives रहेगा HTML का and program 8 marks का program देंगे. Just think about it कि HTML का with option 12 marks है. Okay. So HTML just I'm giving you the HTML carries a very few marks and kind of a very simple and a basic chapter. So today I'll just explain the HTML. Okay. So HTML is kind of what hypertext markup language. And why we are using the HTML? HTML is used for the web designing. Web designing means what? The kind of the web browsers we are using. That is kind of Google Chrome, Microsoft Edge, whatever we are using in web browsers. So designing these web pages, we need a language, right? This kind of programming language for what we are using, the software development, application development. So just like here, the part of HTML, because when we are using Google as a search engine, when we are just entering any text into that search text box, After clicking on that search portal, we will get the multiple results. That is what our hyperlink. We call it as a URL. URL stands for what? Uniform Resource Link. Okay. And on that address bar, we get the address of that particular website. That is what www. For example, community.com. This is what the web address. These are the what the components of web. These are the beginning of the HTML language. What are the components? The components is what your web browser. You are kind of what web server. Then you are URL. Then next part is of your web address, right? And the next is of your web page. That is what your HTML page. Have you observed something when you are accessing the web pages? At the end of that, there is a extension dot HTML. Every page, web page, a single page is having an extension. That is what a dot HTML means. For the HTML, when we save the file, we give the extension to what program.html. Means what we are telling to the computer, we are saving this file in a HTML form. Most of every in a computer edit, that file has that extension. Extension is why we are giving the extension. Why the file is having extension. This is the idea. See, अब notepad में कुछ टाइप करते हैं, से by default वो .tsp लेना था, right? Please consider as what it's a text file. Same here, for a music file is having extension. That is what video also having extension. MP4, ADR, again your images also having extension. Yes, correct. These are the kind of we are just giving the instruction to the machine. This file is saved in that format. Just like here. Now I have to create an HTML page or web page. So that file will have extension .html. For the HTML, we need an editor. Editor means what? Where we are writing the program. So basically, you will need on the basic level Notepad only. We'll write a program on Notepad and display that program. Dot just kind of the dot pistol. That's it. Program name and extension. And after the saving file, if I want to see the output. So what I will do, I will just double click it on that my web browser icon, and it will open in that browser that you have in your machine. Then it will show the output. Right? This is kind of what the main starting of the HTML. That's it. Now, so how do you write the HTML program? So first of all, this kind of the clear. We'll write what editor, that is what for writing the code. To see the output, we'll write a browser. That is what we will do. Or you have anything that Microsoft is for. So for writing the HTML, we'll build a tags. The programming language the mentioned that it will have the syntax. Syntax is what एक formula दिया है या format दिया है उसी format में तुमको code लिखना है, right? Same here, HTML also is having a format, and in that format we are writing the code. That's it. Now, what is the purpose of HTML? To give the kind of background color. There are the many tags available. Like, so you represent the become like wow, it's so interesting having the different font style, along with the images, right? So can you take for example, if our website will actually become slow service sector, how it is designed for CTR, different fonts that they have used. This is what a creativity in your programming language. It's interesting part. Programming is designing language में क्या एक तो interesting part है and again वहाँ पे आपका code compile करने का मतलब error का कुछ problem नहीं है. You will get easily find out the errors. But on C++ या C या Java में आपका total compile करने के बाद इसमें मैथमेटिक errors और किसी find out करें. और HTML आपके अंदर है so easy to learn. Okay. I will explain the first program here that is called how to write HTML. And basically, the whole order is the program to a simple program. I will explain. At least, after समझ में आएगा कि 12 marks अगर fix है तो 12 के तो how can rate the marks? I know that you have to complete the exam here. So you don't have that much time to learn the kind of the part research. We'll try to get the part at least the weighted items cover this in how to study this subject. Okay. Moving to this. Okay, now see first of all, our program start with the what this sign. That is what this is what the sign of experiment acts. Less than sign and greater than sign makes the time. Okay, means every program start with the what this sign. Oh, yes, keep it going. Thank you. Ask the problem. Please, I say, easy का होता है। तो प्रेस कर
नीचे का पार्ट फिंगर्स नहीं टच होने चाहिए माउस से भूल गए ठीक है
ओके okay now see so first of all HTML any program start with the fix that is what HTML start later on we'll add it here head tag okay and inside the head tag there is a word title tag see title for what because every web page has a title bar and we'll have to mention the title जैसे हमें पता चलना चाहिए कि kind of what is the main web page, what is the main kind of the heading of the page. कि web page का at least क्या है इस web page में क्या है तो हमें कैसे पता चलेगा with the help of what your title. So here we'll add it here. That is what my first program. And we'll close it with the word backslash. Listen, see first of all, every open tag should be closed with the word your backslash. Okay. See, we are writing the title tag inside the head tag only. Okay. This is what the format that we are following. After the title tag, we'll have to close it here. Head tag. Okay. This is what the kind of the portion for the what only title. Next part will start with the word body tag. Means whatever we are writing inside the body tag, it will appear or it will display on the web page. Okay. For example, after the body tag, here I am mentioning, for example, B. These are the three basic physical style tags: bold, italic, underline. If I want to mention my some kind of words or a text and display with like a bold letters, so that's that for that I will use B tag for what? To display your text in what? Bold letter. And here you can immediately close the B tag. For the closing, we are using backslash, not the front slash. Okay. Here, now here is next tag is what my BR. BR for what? Breaking the rule. It's kind of for the next slide. Because I want every text should be displayed on the next one. So there is a BR. BR is a standalone tag. BR don't have the closing tag. It's a standalone tag. So we'll put here BR. After that, there is a word and italic. Just kind of the your font effects. Which kind of a font effects? And it's up to you. It's not kind of a mandatory that each and every style or you should use in your program. According to your kind of the program, you can use it. So I is for what? Italic. And here again I am closing my I tag. Okay. And last is what? U for underline. Okay. If I want to give the underline to some of the text or a side text, so in between that, see whatever you will write inside this tag, it will give the effects only that tag. Yes, please don't. ओके अब इस टैग के बीच में जो भी लिखोगे उसको ही उसके इफेक्ट्स मिलेंगे अदर देन अब मेंशन करोगे इट विल नॉट गिव द इफेक्ट्स सेम हियर फॉर द अंडरलाइन सो यू आर डू फॉर व्हाट अंडरलाइन and close the U tag and close the body and lastly close the HTML and that program will say with the word program name and dot HTML message. For example, first dot HTML. That's it. This is your what? First program. If you want to mention in your notebook, please mention. And according to that, please mention what is the purpose of title tag. The title is for what? To give the tags of the title bar. And then having some three physical style tags. That is what? Bold, italic, and underline. That's it. And you can try it on your laptop or the version that whatever you have. You need only notepad, write on the program in a notepad, and save it in the .html extension. Okay? Yes,
Take the last one. Yeah.
Yeah, share the at least previously tables of the states one. The Maharashtra side on your WhatsApp group or your area. Please check the papers. At least you will get the idea what kind of questions will be there. Okay? Is that everyone? Okay. Now, after this three physical style tags, there are the main tags are kind of that. There are the heading tags. Please don't forget. There are the six types of heading tags. H1 to H6. Means if I want to show my some of the heading of my web text the big size with the bold letter. So then we can use the H1 tag. H1 it's a heading tag 1 and H1 is the largest and H6 is the smallest element. Most of the time, in the blanks will giving the this kind of a version. That dash tag is about the largest heading tag. So you can mention here H1 and the smallest is about H6. See, for example, if I'm not writing here the whole HTML program. Now I'm explaining just the tags. Okay. So here is what H1. In between that, whatever you will write, for example, I'm writing here heading 1 and close the H1. See, when you are writing the H1 to H6 continuously, if you want, in between that, no need to add VR tag. Okay, means it will take by default on the next line. Okay, but other tags goes with VR and VR for the next line. So H1, then H2, H3, H4, H5, and H6. Okay, so mention in your notebook just kind of what H1 is the largest heading tag and H6 is the what smallest heading tag. Okay, Okay, so many of the time we mention the kind of what the website related to school and the college. The students know what that college name and next we'll have to write the address, contact number. According to that, you mention the HTML, then HTML. So it will write but उसका font size थोड़ा सा कम होता जाए. Okay. So these are the what the heading tags. And the another tag is what the P tag. P for the paragraph, right? And P is having one attribute that is what align. Why I am calling the attribute? Attribute is kind of a called as a property also. Means whenever I am writing inside the tag, so it will consider as what the attribute of this particular tag. So align. Here you can mention if you want to show your paragraph on the right hand side. So you can mention the right align, and here is your paragraph, and close the paragraph. Okay. Inside the paragraph, if you want to use the tag that is bold, italic, underline, you can use it. And in between, you can mention the PR also. Okay. Done, everyone clear? So now after the P tag, there is next tag is what? ING. ING for image. If I want to add image on my web page, so I will use ING. And image tag also having attributes. For example, my first attribute is imported SRC. SRC stands for what? Source. Source means what? The path of that file. For example, the file location at equal backslash your folder name backslash and sunset.jpg. So we'll mention the what ING SRC kind of. And here INGs are having another attribute also. That is kind of what height. That means you can mention the height of that particular image. Of what size you want to show. Some of the time you want to show the icon also, that logo of particular website. So you can mention in the number, that is what size. The next is what height and width. No, it's not coming. Height. Next is what width. And the next is what border. And last is what height. Height is also important attribute for alternate text. Some of the times for users will get the time to load on your web page. So that time we can mention the items of alternate text. So please mention in nearby I. For example, the image I want to show that is what a sunset. Okay. So these are the what attributes of image tag. And we are writing within a tag. Okay. If I want to add attributes, I want to write within that tag only, closing tag. Image also don't have the closing tag, just like a DR. Okay. Here, is it down into that? Yes. So first of all, we learn about the basics, then the paragraph tag, then image tag, and one more thing. In my first program, I have mentioned the body diversity. So in that body, if you want to give the background color for your web page, so you can add it here. Body tag, body, easy color. For example, pink. So you can use the background color. BG stands for busy color and the spelling will be the same. COLO. I know that the COLO you are mentioning it, but next level we have to mention busy color. It's a continuous word without any space. And along with that, there is a word next is what text. Means throughout the website, if I want to give the red color only to my text, so I can mention your text also. Only text and in front of that, give the name. Okay. Now On my web page, for the paragraph, I want to give the different color for the paragraph text on my reading. So there is another tag is what? Font tag. Font. Font is having the attributes that is what style, size, and color. So you can use the style kind of what Arial, Times New one. So you can mention here font, style, size, and color. Okay. And here you are mentioning your text, right? And after that, you are closing the font tag. Understood? So font is having the attributes what? Size, and color. And here in between that, you are writing the text and after that closing the font tag. That's it. Done. Please mention your notebook at least 50 years here. Yes, we are not writing. At least give at least some kind of keywords. Don't write the full program. I'm not giving the full program also here. I'm just explaining the tags. You are taking new page. Yes, yeah, done. Okay. See now the other tag is if I want to highlight my text. Some of the word I want to highlight it. So for that I will use the word tag mark. Mark is again a kind of that don't have any attributes. It will just give the highlight in a yellow color only. If you want to just highlight the any word from your paragraph. So you can use it here mark. Here I am using the word for example hello and close the mark. So mark that for what? To highlight the text. Now I want to give the hyperlink. Wait, I want to connect the both pages. Okay, for example, I am having 5 pages and I want to make the link. Okay, so for that, there is another tag is what? Hyperlink tag. First of all, A stands for anchor. Okay, and anchor is having attribute HREF. Hyperlink reference. A stands for what? Anchor. And HREF stands for what? Hyperlink reference. Okay. So in that, for example, I want first page. Or go to next page. Okay. So here I will mention the what my first path रहेगा यहाँ पे first dot html. And here I have mentioned the word go to next page and close the anchor tag. So this text will get the hyperlink. Hyperlink will appear in the blue color text with the underline. Okay. Most of the हमें पता है कि गूगल हम तो यूज करते हैं गूगल पे सर्च करने के बाद जो हाइपरलिंक्स मिल जाते हैं वो बाय डिफॉल्ट गूगल या तो गूगल अंडरलाइन रहता है क्लिक करने के बाद हमें समझ आता है कि नेक्स्ट पेज है this is what the hyperlink and this text will get the label. Yes, what happened? Yeah. What? ये first word HTML. Here I am just which page I want to give the kind of मुझे एक पेज पे पैसा पेज ओपन करना है. For example, I want the second page and the second page से फिर से first page जाना. So I can mention it. I have to mention that source where which page I want to locate or go to that next page. So I have to give it the path of that page. आ रहा है समझ में? Sure. Okay. Now then. After the hyperlink, next is a page of what? I want to show my data in a kind of the list format. In numerical format, because I want to numerical 1, 2. So there are the two parts, two tags are there. ordered list and unordered list. मतलब अगर मुझे डेटा क्वांटिटी फॉर्मेट शो करना है तो then I will use ordered list. Then ordered list have a type attribute. Alphabets, alphabets data show करना है ABC, small ABC, then Roman numbers. So for that I will use ordered list and UL for unordered list. So in that I will get the symbols. That is for the square, circle, and this. Yes, these are the bullets, right? So there are the two main parts, OL and UL. I will show you this example. OL stands for what? Ordered list. Okay? And OL is having the word attribute type. By default, if you have not mentioned that type, you start only just OL, so it will take by default value 1. Okay? But I want to show my data, that is what in a capital format. So I have to mention OL type A. And in that, the data is mentioned in the ALI tab. ALI is what? List. For example, you want to show the devices of the computer. So I want to show that device input, output, and the CPU. So I have to mention, for example, input and close the LI. Again here LI for what? Output. And last LI for CPU and close OL. So this the kind of a name will get the symbol of what? A, B, and the C. Right? And at the top of that, if you want to mention the heading, kind of an H2, so you can mention the computer architecture. So that text will be get in the kind of one of bold letters with a big size. And below that, these 3 points will come in the what? ABC column. Right? And another is kind of most important. Some of the kind of a paragraph or image you want to show at the center of the page. So for that, specifically the tag is what the center. Center tag don't have any attributes. You can mention only center. And here, if you're writing any kind of the heading, for example, writing a college, and close the center tag. Right? So this text will get the what? The center of the page. And again, if you want to give the underline to this this center text, you can mention inside here, U tag, underline, B tag for the bold. So that center text will get this kind of effects. Understood? So कौन से tags हो गए हमारे बताओ मुझे जरा. Start.
Head, body, title, yes.
Image. हो गया. Tag गया. Except key tag paragraph हो गया.
Break paragraph.
PR break हो गया. Already हो गया. क्या है इसमें mention center also. So one more is the same standalone tag. Just like a VR. There is another tag is what HR. HR is a kind of a horizontal row will appear. For example, you have mentioned the college name, address, contact number, and below that you want a big line, horizontal line to go in. It will cover the entire web page. So here you can mention HR. In the property is what width. So you can mention the width. How much that line you want to show on your web page. So you can mention the width. Along with the color, in which color do you want to show? And HR is again a stand-alone tag. HR don't have closing tags. Okay, and these are the two properties only, width and the read. Sorry. Okay. Clear? Now, yes, I have to complete this one also. OL, and after that, UL. Post design program nesting list plan. Nesting list मतलब the combination of OL and the UL. मीन्स अगर मुझे कैपिटल A में हेडिंग है and I want to show another my data in the calculator. So I have to make a combination of two vectors. So some of the listings. Program was I will understand value after. This means what is happening? See what happens unnecessarily disturb happens. And I think काफी slow चल रहा है मेरा यहाँ पे. I'm not telling you to hurry. And I'm asking you meanwhile also if you are getting or not getting. This is your laughter. I really do this because and I think you are completely exhausted. Yeah. Okay. So is this I explain the UL. UL is for what? Unordered list. Unordered list having the key that is what a type. That is what the circle, square, and this. Instead of the circle with the field that dot and the square size and it is in a blank circle. Okay. So this is what UL type is and LI is mandatory because I want to show my data that format. So I will write between the LI. Okay. So for example, now I want to mention the memory. That is what RAM, close LI, and again LI ROM, and close LI. And close the UL. Okay. So this RAM and the ROM will get the what? The symbol of this. Understood? Okay. Now, see after the kind of the main design for it, now I'm giving you one question for the kind of the solving. Write down the question first. At least a program design is a kind of idea. So write the HTML code. Write the HTML code. Design a web page. Design a web page. Adding background color. Adding background color. Along with the heading. Along with the heading. Mention one paragraph. Mention one paragraph. And one image. And also use hyperlink. Okay. So in that what you will do, it's up to you which type of background color you want to take. You want to take and at least choose one theme. Theme means what kind of the company front page, college front page, whatever it is. That has to proper data. At least a ideas like how we are designing the code. And please at least try to look up the the outcome, how the output is getting, how it's showing on your webpage. Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
फोटो बैठ